Pisces. Going to do a fast reading for you today. Let's see what's going on in your world. See if we can get some different cards to show up for you. We've been getting a lot of the same cards. Interesting. All the signs. So I can't wait to see what comes up for you. See what's going on. Let's begin. Queen of Pentacles. Opposing views, Pisces. Not really seeing eye to eye with someone, two people who have the same idea. They're both holding the same vision, going in different directions. Trying to really hold on to maybe a little bit of something that you have. You only have a little bit of something. Maybe it's money, maybe it's an idea, but you're really holding on to it, and you really don't want to let it go. Something was going well, and it has turned in a direction that you're not really enjoying so much right now. Let's talk about these cards a little bit. I've talked about this a little bit in other readings. I know there are so many readers, and I hear them interpreting certain cards in a very similar way. But I have been reading for a while, and when things are passed down, they change. So I'm going to just tell you the way I read, and if you like it, that's fine, and if you don't, that's fine too. When I see the Chariot, I want you to think about what a chariot is, what it does, what it was meant for. It goes very fast. It can be very dangerous. It was meant to entertain, but if it didn't go well, again, intensely dangerous for the rider. And showmanship, a lot of showmanship. I think right now, Pisces, you are sort of torn a little bit. You had something going on that you were enjoying. It made you feel like you were good in the public eye, but maybe it was going a little bit too fast for you. It might have felt a little dangerous at the rate it was going. You may have felt it was a sort of precarious thing. And while you liked it, and maybe how it made you look, and maybe how it made you feel, you may have felt it was a little dangerous. It sort of here, you have the black and white is a little bit of the good, a little bit of the light, a little bit of the dark. And so you had this precious thing. You're sort of turning it over, looking at it, but really debating if it's worth the keeping or what you should do with it. It's a wonderful thing. But it's a tricky thing to keep, this relationship or business venture or whatever it may be. A prison of your own making, a prison of thought. Does that make sense? You are trapped in your own mind, thinking a lot about this thing. What do I do with it? Deciding if you should turn your back on a full round of stacked cups. But again, if you look, it looks like there's one missing. So you feel like there's just something missing here. And maybe going to your higher self to think about that. And really thinking that there's so much worth here, and that you are a big part of that worth equation. You really want to be valued. You really want to see someone acknowledge your worth. And you don't really, you're not really sure if that's happening. I have to put this out because it came out. This may be a time, Pisces, of trying to learn to decode things outside of your own sphere. Working on communication. Excuse me. Let's pull some other cards for you. There is just so much so much on value in the reading. Excuse me. What you brought to the table, that you may have to stop and kind of get out of your own head for a little bit, and learn to master hard work in another area. And communication sometimes can be very, very difficult because it requires you to really actively listen. This is the Justice card in reverse. Not feeling as if justice was done to you. The Hierophant. Sometimes that's a sort of holier than thou. Card. And, you know, Pisces, let me tell you, I understand when we feel that we've done a lot for someone, you know, we expect them to be grateful. The Moon. Let's see what else we have here. King of Cups, the Cups upside down. This was a flame. This is, I'm seeing anger here though. Two of Wands. This is you finally seeing some kind of a light here. It's very small. It's very small, Pisces, but a little light in the shadow. Maybe you're willing to just have a conversation. Maybe a small one. It doesn't have to be a big one. And if you really feel like you can't have a conversation with this person about what went on here, this is really the thing, maybe you can just make it a selfish thing for you, so you can get clarity about why they feel they didn't feel as grateful as you wanted them to feel about what they did for you. But you know, in that conversation, something might come out that may be enlightening. Maybe they would say, I had a terrible week, or I had a terrible day, or, you know, I felt afraid. And that may soften you. Pisces are very generous people. They're very sensitive people, and they tend to just act. You know, water is very powerful. If you've ever watched a tide, it can have this gentle, soft lapping, or you can have a tsunami. So if a Pisces feels put out, they may come off as a tsunami. Knight of Pentacles. This may be a Taurus. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay, let's stop here. Because here is the Wheel of Fortune where it didn't go your way and you were not really that thrilled. Here, let's go back a little bit. Here you are making a decision to maybe have a tiny conversation with a little tiny, just a teeny tiny flame going off. And then here is the money or this purpose that was here. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This, whatever you're trying to nurture, whatever the other person is trying to nurture, here it comes upright again. And right behind it, the Wheel of Fortune comes upright. when it was upside down over here. So if you can just make your way, Pisces, to having a little bit of a conversation, if you can calm your tsunami down and manage to have a little bit of communication, you can go back into that gentle lapping tide. It makes you so sweet and wonderful. Thank you so much, Pisces. Take care.